Hello students. Yesterday we were talking about the electromagnetic spectrum, and students, as you have seen what is the spectrum, whenever we are arranging some of the wavelength or frequencies in increasing or decreasing order, then that the collective name is that spectrum we are calling it. So here in the form of a spectrum, as in electromagnetic wave we have 7 types of waves. So that 7 waves have different frequencies and different wavelengths. So that the name of that 7 wavelengths I have told you yesterday already, and even properties of of the electromagnetic spectrum we have seen. And as here one by one we are going from the low frequency to high frequency range. And in the low frequency range, as you know that the lowest frequency in the electromagnetic spectrum is for the radio wave. After the radio wave we have microwave. So these 2 waves were discovered by the Marconi, and latter as the most important application of radio wave is in communication system, and he used this kind of waves for the communication. So from that era the communication established, and nowadays you can see how we can communicate with each other very easily, and a lot of tools we have already. So that is started from the knowledge of electromagnetic spectrum, and after that the scientists started to work on that. So here I think the 2 waves are that clear, means the nature of the wave already you know that, and how can we produce them, what is the frequency and wavelength of them, and where we are using in our daily life. So we are discussing basically on these things. Next one here, after the discussion on microwave, the third wave, you can say that if we are going in increasing order of frequency, then obviously that will be the decreasing order of the wavelength. So here third wave we have, this is infrared waves. So let's see now infrared waves. So infrared waves, first of all, they are also known as thermal waves or heat waves. Reason why we are calling it thermal waves or heat wave, as whenever they are absorbed by any of the surface, then that time it produces heating effect in that surface, and due to you can say that the interaction with the atomic structure, molecular structure, they produce heating effect. Then that's why they are known as heat waves or thermal waves. Next one is here, the reason whenever they are interacting with any atom and molecule, then that time they show the radiation. So due to the radiation, the warming or heating effect we are observing. And if you will see who discovered this infrared radiation, then William Herschel discovered this kind of radiation, and this is also very important and a lot of useful, you can say that this wave has for us. And even you can say that if it will not be in sun radiation, then our life is will not be the possible on the earth. Means this wave, you can say that this is very necessary to provide or to establish a life on any planet. So as you know, on our earth atmosphere is present. So our atmosphere has different layers. Later I will tell you how many layers our atmosphere has. So different layers, they have different properties. So in some of the layers, whenever the sun radiation is coming, basically sun radiation is made up of visible light, infrared radiation, ultraviolet radiation. So in these all radiations, the ozone layer, the stratosphere, in stratosphere a layer is present that is called ozone layer, and that the ozone has property to reflect back the ultraviolet radiations or absorb them. Then that's why ultraviolet radiations is not coming to us, and we are safe from that. And one more thing after this one, the infrared radiation. Visible light you are already seeing, so that's why I am not talking about that. Infrared radiations, as whenever they enter through the atmosphere, the atmospheric gases absorb some of the radiations from them, and also our earth's surface get heated in our daytime, and that due to the heating it also absorbs some of the radiations. and when at night they will again radiate back to in the atmosphere so that it cools down. So in that way the atmospheric layers opposes to reflect back or to transmit any kind of infrared radiation from this. So in this way, as our infrared radiation is remained inside the atmosphere, then we feel warmness even in at night time. If atmosphere will not be present, then infrared radiation in night they will be radiated out and our earth will become very cool at night, and the life will not be the possible here. So here the possibility of life we have, because due to infrared radiation and the atmosphere present at our earth. So this is, I think, clear now. The importance of infrared radiations are now clear. Now let's see how can we produce such kind of radiations. So these are produced from the heat radiation, heat radiating bodies or molecules. So whenever the molecules or bodies they will get heated, like just now I'm telling you, from the sun radiation or earth surface or the bodies that are present on earth, they will get heated, and due to the heating at night, as they are radiating back their heating energy, then that radiation is called infrared radiation. So here you can say that all hot bodies are the source of the production of infrared radiations. Next one, here after the information about the infrared, let's see what is the frequency range and wavelength range for this one. So for infrared radiation, the frequency range lies from 10 to the power 14 meter. So this is the frequency range here, 10 power 10 meter to 10 power 14 meter. This is our frequency range, and wavelength range, if I will say you, then this is wavelength range is 10 power minus 3 to 10 power minus 5. Sorry for this one, this should be hertz. Yeah. Now this one, as this is our frequency range, this is wavelength range. So whenever you are seeing some of the radiations that is lying in this frequency or wavelength range, then that radiation, without any doubt, that will be infrared radiation, infrared spectrum, you can see. Now as these two things we have discussed, and in every wave we are discussing these three. In a spectrum, basically we are talking for the wavelength and frequencies. With the help of that, you can calculate easily what is the speed, and still I have told you already in general way, by using Maxwell's equation, for any kind of electromagnetic waves, the velocity of waves will be always equal to the velocity of light. So in any in free space, their speed will be always equal to the velocity of light. Next one here, if you will see their uses, where we are using them. So we are using infrared radiations first in physical therapy. So like in physical therapy, we need radiations, we need heat energy, thermal energy. So there we are using these kinds of wave. Second, where we are using, these are used in satellites for army purpose. So for army purpose, where we need separate satellites and to keep eyes on our enemies, then for that one also we are using infrared radiations. Next one, we are using for the weather forecasting. This is very important applications that we are using with the help of infrared. So weather forecast can be easily done by using this kind of wave. Next one use is also we can see through the fog very clearly by using these kinds of waves, because these waves are not interacted with the fog easily. Next one here, we are using these kind of waves in solar water heater, solar cells and solar cooker. So solar energies that is worked on, or solar cooker that we have made, these kind and these days solar panels are very popular, because solar energy is in abundance. We have already lot of energies that is coming at our on our earth, so we can utilize that energy, and we have made solar cells, solar panels. So solar panels that are absorbing heat from the sun, and after that it is converting the heat energy into electrical signals. So here heat energy that we are talking for the heat energy. So in this visible light, the heat energy is due to infrared radiation. So solar cooker, solar cell, all solar heaters, all these are based on the infrared radiation. Means if in our earth or in our sun, if infrared radiations are absent, then that time even we cannot make such kind of devices. Or also first we will not be here already, because our earth will not be warm, it will be always cool, because all of our other waves, ultraviolet is already reflected back in space by the ozone layer, and visible light, that is not producing that kind of heating effect so that life can be possible here. So that is done only due to the infrared radiation. Next one here, if you will see, it's one more uses, then that we are using these waves for producing dehydrated fruits. So you have seen that the dehydrated fruit, because we can make the fruits dehydrated by passing the infrared radiation through them, and by the heating effect they can just dehydrate the fruits easily. So these are the daily life uses for these kinds of waves. So after the discussion on infrared radiation, next to electromagnetic spectrum we have the fourth one, this is visible light. So I think already you are aware very well for this wave. The light that we are seeing already, through which we are visible, we can see each other easily, that is all visible light. So next one we have, this is visible light. So visible light, first of all, its frequency, if you will see, what is the range of the frequency. So its frequency is light from 10 power 14 to 10 to power 14 hertz even, means sorry, not 14, 10 to the power 14 to 10 power 15, not 14. So this is 10 power 14 hertz to 10 to the power 15 hertz frequency. In between they are lying, and you can say already this is not very great range for the visible light, but still even we can see easily all of the things. World is very visible, world is white, world is bright for us. So this light's information I don't have to tell you, you know already, you can understand, you can imagine, you can think about this already, what will be if light will absent from the earth suddenly. Next one here, if you will see the wavelength of the visible light, then that is also very small. So this is from 10 to the power minus 5 meter to 10 to the power minus 6 meter. So this is range of the wavelength for the visible light. And next one, if you will see how can we produce it, then visible light production you know already. First is the sun is already the source of visible light. Second one, the mercury bulb we are using, that is also the light, whatever we can see, that is the visible light. We can even nowadays we are also producing laser light. So here means first of all the visible light, that is help us to see the world. That so here already importance of this wave I don't have to tell you. So we will move for the next one. Next one wave we have, this is ultraviolet rays. So let's see now fifth one. I think this is, yes, fifth one. This is ultraviolet rays. So ultraviolet rays or UV rays we are saying it. So how can we, first of all, this wave is discovered by Ritter, a scientist in 1801. So this kind of ultraviolet radiations can be produced by special lamps and very hot bodies. So whenever bodies are very hot, they are radiating ultraviolet radiations from their bodies, or some special lamps we are making for this one. Next one here also the one very best source for the ultraviolet, that is our sun. So sun is also the source of the ultraviolet radiations. And now if you will see the frequency range for ultraviolet radiations, and that is from 10 to the power 14 hertz to 10 to the power 16 hertz. So this is the frequency range for the ultraviolet radiation. And if you will see now the wavelength range, so that is lying between 10 power 6 to 10 to the power 9, sorry, minus 6 to 10 to the power minus 9 meter. So this is the wavelength range for the ultraviolet radiations here. Next one, where we are using these kinds of waves. So we are using the ultraviolet radiations in our daily life. First in burglar alarms. So burglar alarms we are using basically to just sense something happening suddenly. So we are using such kind of alarms in our daily life, and their ultraviolet radiations we are using. Second, here we are using the ultraviolet radiations to check the mineral samples. So mineral sample can easily be checked by these kind of radiations, as they are very interactive for that one. Next one is here we are using this kind of waves to study about the molecular structure. So some of the molecular structure can be studied by using these waves, as their separation range is of the order of the this ultraviolet radiation. Next one example and use of ultraviolet radiation is to kill the germs in the minerals. So we can kill germs easily in minerals by using these kind of waves. Next one here to sterilize the surgical instruments. This is also very important application. So whenever we are doing any surgeries, then before surgery we will sterilize every surgical instrument. Even after surgery we are sterilizing it. So to sterilize it completely, we are using the ultraviolet radiations there. So these are all fields where we are using. Here one more thing, student, as electromagnetic spectrum I am telling you, I am not going to tell you the harms of these kind of waves here. You can understand already by yourself, you can study, but basic harm of ultraviolet, if I will tell you, then whenever that will interact with our skin, then a lot of kind of diseases can be arise in our body, like skin cancer can be there. So skin defects will be in our body. So that's why we have to avoid the ultraviolet radiations, and we are very fortunate that in our atmosphere ozone layer is present for this one already. Next one is here. After the discussion on the ultraviolet radiation, the next wave we have, that is X-rays. So let's see now about the X-rays and its uses. So X-rays, first as this is discovered by Ronson, and some of you already know that he got Nobel Prize for this discovery, because X-rays are we are using X-rays at a wide scale in our daily life. So here and also I tell you one more most important application of X-ray that we are using in our life, and one physics is actually based on this one, and chemistry you can also say that. So here first of all discovery, you know, it is made by the Ronson, and if you have to produce the X-rays, then for this one we are using a lot of methods, and in that method the most important method is secondary emission method, or the collision method by very high energetic particles. So whenever high energetic particles are colliding with any atom, then in that atom they knocked out some of the electrons, and to fill up the position of that knocked out core electron, the higher orbit electrons come down to the knocked out position, and in that way they are radiating their excess energy, and that energy lies in the range of the X-rays. So X-rays can be produced by the atomic electrons by the knocking them. So this is the method to produce the X-rays, and later we will study about the X-ray spectrum separately in chapter atoms. And one more thing, as visible light spectrum we will again study after this chapter in ray optics. That's why in very brief I haven't told you. So in next chapter we will already study at a large scale that whole of the topic. So here as X-ray production is I think clear. Now its frequency range, if you will see, so it has used range of frequency, that is 10 power 16 Hertz to 10 power 21 Hertz. This is very large frequency. It has 10 power 16 Hertz to 10 to the power 21 Hertz. So this is our frequency range for this one. And in the same way you can write down what is the wavelength range. So wavelength range is also very high here, that is 10⁻⁻7 meter to 10 to the power -12 meter. So this is the wavelength range, means range is high, wavelength is low actually. So here this is the whole of the information about the X-rays. Then after this information, let's see where we are using the X-rays. So one most important application known by everyone of X-rays, that is we are using in X-ray X-ray machines to take the X-rays of the bones, and we can find out where our muscles and bones are cracked. So for the injury of cracking, we can use the X-rays, you know already. First important application of X-ray. Next application, we are using it to detect the diseased organs. We are using to detect the stone in the body, these waves. So this is the medical importance that in which we are using X-rays. Next one also, these waves are used in engineering to detect fault, crack on bridges, testing of belts. So here whenever the bridges are cracked, then that time as the bridge frequency is matched with the X-rays frequencies, so easily we can use these kind of waves to find out the cracks or fault in the whenever we are doing the weldings, we are just finding out where the bridge is cracked. So this kind of applications we are also using in engineering field. Next one is here, these waves we are using in metro stations to detect metals or explosive materials. So here metal detector you have seen at every places you are going, and metal detector you have seen. So in that metal detector we are using X-rays to detect whether we have taken any of the metallic things or not, because X-rays are opaque for the metal, but that is transparent for our bones. So that can, if whenever we have put any metallic like gun or any other thing, then that time it can easily detect that metallic things, and for that one we have attached alarm with that, then alarm can be sounded easily. So this is the way in which we have designed the metal detector and where we are using X-rays. Next one is here, we are using X-rays in scientific research, and also one most important application for one of the field, that is the solid state physics. We are saying solid state physics, in which we are just studying the one form of the solid, that is crystalline solid. So crystalline solid can be studied by the help of X-rays, as we can study the structure of actually any of the molecule whenever it's the separation between two molecules, that is in the range of any wavelength. So X-rays are best fitted for that one. X-rays can interact with the crystalline solids easily. We are using that to categorize the solid, to study the structure of the solid, and all that. After that we have even a huge branch of the physics that is called solid state physics, that is totally based on the X-rays diffraction. So I think that is now clear where we are using in spectroscopic field. It is very important rays, and where we are using it. So one by one you can see that these waves are very important for us. They are very useful for our daily lives. Next and last wave, that is gamma rays. Gamma rays. So here gamma rays, first of all, that is discovered by the Rutherford. So and Rutherford, you know, he worked a lot on the field of radioactivity, and first he also known as the father of the nuclear physics. So nucleus, he have detected first that thing. He have given the concept of the nucleus, and after that he is following the father of nuclear physics, and his model based on the atomic model. According to that one, we are now able to understand what is the structure of the atom. In atom we have electron, proton, neutrons, these all things, and spectroscopic things, all these things we have started to study after the model that is given by the Rutherford. Even Rutherford model was very correct, but some of the discrepancies were there, and that discrepancies were later removed by the Bohr, and some of the scientists have removed this one by one. and nowadays we have very clear model. According to that we can understand every structure of the atoms and molecules. So here first of all, gamma rays, how can we produce it? So gamma rays are produced by the nuclear reactions. So whenever any nucleus that comes in excited state, it goes to any of the excited state, and when it comes back down, then that time it is radiating excess of energy, and that radiation lies in the range of gamma rays. So this is the way to produce the gamma rays. Nuclear reactions are the best for producing it. Along with this one, as if you you can remind in Einstein's mass energy equivalence concept, I have told you one example of pair annihilation, pair production. So here as pair products in annihilation, if I will say you, in pair annihilation we have two pairs of charges. Suppose if we have a positron, we have electron, whenever they are annihilating, they are combined, then that time they are converting, these masses are converting into energy, and that energy is produced, this is gamma rays. So from here also gamma rays can be produced by pair annihilation. So whenever we have the neutralization of charges, then that time these kind of waves are produced. So this is a lot of method to produce the gamma rays, and this is the most energetic waves we have, that has the highest frequency, lowest wavelength, and whenever we are saying what is the most energetic rays, then that is the gamma rays, the known most energetic rays. Here next one is here, if you will see the properties of these rays, these are very, as they are very energetic, they can easily penetrate through any of the metal, even thick sheets, it can penetrate that. So we are using to for the cutting purpose these kind of waves, and we are using in transmission purpose in these waves. So let's see first its frequencies. After that I will tell you what is the uses of gamma rays in our daily life. So its frequency range lies from the 10 to the power 18 Hertz to 10 power 22 Hertz. This is 10 power 18 Hertz to 10 to the power 22 Hertz. This is the range of the gamma rays. And if frequency we have to see, then its frequency, wavelength, not frequency, its wavelength lies from 10 power minus 12 meter to 10 to the power minus 14 meter. So this is the lowest known frequency we have, wavelength we have. And for the radio wave, as it has longest frequency, and that uses of that I have told you already. So for the longest frequency, 10 to the power 7 meter wavelength we were getting that, and here this is the most energetic and most highest frequency it has. So this is the first of all properties of gamma rays. After that, now let's see what are the uses of gamma rays. So first use of gamma rays is here. They are used to produce the nuclear reactions. So as they have a high energy already, they are most energetic. So whenever they will fall on any of the nucleus, then it will transfer its energy to the nucleus, and nucleus can be easily separated into or divided in two or more parts. So in that way nuclear fission can be done easily. So and we are using nuclear fission in atom bomb, we are using that in nuclear reactors for a lot of purposes. So here these are the application of gamma rays. First in nuclear reaction. Second, these waves are used in radiotherapy for the treatment of tumor and cancer. So whenever we are doing the radiotherapy, you know it is a technique to treat the tumors and the cancer in our body. So we are using gamma rays for this purpose. Next one here, these are used in food industries to kill pathogenics. So pathogenics, microorganisms. So here a lot of microorganisms are here in our food. So whenever we are preserving that, so to kill them we are using most energetic wave, because most of the germs and microorganisms, they can bear a lot of heat, supply a lot of energy, but whenever we will pass this energy to that, then that energy can kill them easily. Next one is here, application is here, that is these waves are used to provide valuable information about the structure of atomic nucleus. So as I told you already, these waves are produced by the nuclear reactions, or excitation of the nucleus, then we can easily understand even this is interacted, this can interact easily with the nucleus, so we can get information through this one. So up to now, whatever the information we have for this world or above the world, like our world is in the way this time and if beyond the earth in space we were studying, we are using these 7 electromagnetic waves, any one of we are using for our purpose, we are sending them, and whenever some of the things are interacting with it, then that time we can collect information from that. But whenever it is not interacting, then that kind of informations we are unable to still understand. Like nowadays a concept is very famous, dark energy, dark matter, that is filled in whole of the free space that we are seeing between two planets. A lot of free space we have. Some scientists have made assumptions that there are dark energy and matter are present, but as they are not interacting with our electromagnetic waves, then that's why we are unable to know about that. So now you can understand that how much important these waves for us. So students, if all these information is now clear, so electromagnetic spectrum is finished, then let's discuss atmosphere, about our atmosphere in next class. Thank you students for